What's going on, guys? This is Daraine Delevante. I am on the S.T.A.R.V.E talk show with J Haleem, and we're about to give y'all all the nuggets today, all the gems. And a lot of people talk about the diamond, how a diamond looks good, but we never talk about where that diamond came from. So today we're peeling the layers back. We're going to talk about where this diamond came from and how, because of the pressure, the ruggedness, the core, all the obstacles that went into shaping this diamond, that you're able to get this end product. So we're going to dive deep today into what made this diamond a diamond. Let's go, bro.
I'm in the studio with J Haleem.
I'm in the studio with J Haleem.
I'm in the studio with J Haleem.
I'm in the studio with J Haleem. I'm in the studio with J Haleem.
You are now in the studio with J Haleem.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy J Haleem. We are back for another episode of S.T.A.R.V.E Talk. Listen, we got a great brother in here today, and he's going to be talking about something that we definitely need to learn about. Not the spammy social media version of it either. We're going to really get down and dirty because, again, we are hurting in the credit department. Everybody's going to tell you, get your credit, get your 700 credit. You get your 700 credit, you can get $1 million, you can get a yacht, you can get this, you can get that. It's not that easy, but it is necessary. And so I'm glad that this brother right here is willing to dig a little deeper, is willing to go past the spammy talk, willing to go past the, oh, I'm just trying to make a quick buck today. Really want to educate you, really want to add value to us. And so I'm happy that he took the time to talk to us. This is brother Daraine Delevante. Did I say your name properly?
Yes, sir. Daraine Delevante. Let's go, King.
Listen,
Let's
man,
go.
Thank you so much, man, for taking the time out. I was very excited to see what you were doing. And again, just the way your approach to it, I feel the energy. Mm-hmm. We've all talked to 100,000 people that say they help people with credit. And some people actually can help you with credit. But I feel a passion, a different level of passion about it. I think that you want to change lives more than make a buck. Because with changing lives, the money comes. Mm-hmm. Is that accurate?
Yes, 100%.
So yeah, I definitely thank you so much for giving us a little bit of time. This is the biggest question I wanted to know from the time I saw it. I said, well, how bad was your credit when you decided to say, let me fix this thing up?
604, bro. So at the time, I didn't even know what a FICO was. But on Credit Karma, it showed 604. So normally, if Credit Karma is a 604, that means your FICO is way lower. So I didn't know exactly what the FICO was, but I know the shit was bad because I couldn't get approved for nothing. I needed cosigners, or if I do get approved, it's like 18%. Yeah. It's like, bruh, enough was enough. Like, you got to realize enough is enough.
Okay, so you all right, so let's start to the beginning. So you're working, you're an Army vet or a military vet. I don't know which, and thank you for your service. Okay, thank you for your service. And you're a vet. So most people think, you're a vet, you should have good credit, you should have made a bunch of money. You should have all the opportunities in the world. That's probably a misconception, correct?
Very, bro. People, you think a lot of consumers don't know about credit? There's people in the military don't know nothing. And a lot of times they lose their security clearances because of not knowing how to repair, rebuild, and restore their own credit. So they'll lose their jobs, positions, because they lost their security clearances. It's a big thing, but they don't talk about it.
Yeah, see, and that is a big thing, because the people, we think that, especially in the Black community, it's like, all right, that's the save off. Your son didn't make the basketball team, football team, whatever, baseball, whatever sport, singing, rapping, dancing. Okay, go to the military, and that's good. All you got to do is go to the military, and you don't have to have a plan. They'll figure it out for you. But I have an uncle that's real close to me who went to the military, and I learned after the fact that it's a completely different world than just get in there and they're going to fix you. Mm-hmm. You got to have to actually still develop a plan for your own life. So what was your plan when you first went into the military, and did it go out, or did you make some shifts along the way?
So I'm Jamaican. Mm-hmm. I've only been in the US 12 years, right? Mm-hmm. So when I came and I got my green card, I decided that I needed to become a citizen. The fastest way to become a citizen in America is joining the military.
Wow.
So I joined the military. I don't like dealing with immigration. I don't. I didn't want to have to go back for interviews, none of that. I'm like, boom, joined the military, got my citizenship. Then I'm like, okay, cool. I'm liking this military stuff. It's not bad. And then I got a job now because I'm in the National Guard. So it's reserve, right?
Yeah.
And then now later on, I got a job. So it's called active reserve or state active duty, where now we're able to be full-time, but we're at home. We go home every day, and then we make our BAH based on our home zip code. And living in New York, you know, the BAH was pretty good. So before I joined the military, bro, I was working $8 an hour at Five Guys. Like I was shaking French fries at Five Guys. I was a busboy and a server.
Those good fries, though.
Yo, bro, tell me about them Cajun fries, bro. I love me some Cajun.
Yeah.
So even before that, so I was in Jamaica, right? So let's go right back from the beginning. I was in Jamaica at the University of the West Indies studying biochemistry. I wanted to go to med school.
Wow.
And then I came here in a work and travel program, and I said, Mom, I'm not coming back. My mom lost it. What are you doing? You don't know anybody there. What are you going to do? Who are you going to, all the questions, bro. And if I had gotten scared and went back home, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
So sometimes you got to take a leap of faith, not knowing what's going to happen. Yeah. I had no plan, bro. I didn't know what was going to happen, nothing. But I decided, so I'm my biggest fan. Wow. I don't think nobody believes in me more than me.
That's a bar right there. That's a bar right there. You got to say that again. You are your biggest fan.
I am my biggest cheerleader, bro. Ain't nobody believe in me more than me. Wow. I believe in me more than ever. I believe in me more than people believe in themselves.
I love it.
That's how much I believe in me, and I'm willing to invest in me. And I know that the path isn't always there. Just go where there's no path so you can leave a trail. Everybody wants to go where a path is already made. But what about a new destination where nobody has ventured before? So bringing it back now, I moved to New York, got a job working at Five Guys. I do love their Cajun fries. It's the best. And then now I'm like, yo, this $8.25 is not doing it, bro.
Especially not New York.
I smell like peanut oil. Like I'm standing up for like 8 hours a day, bro. My back used to hurt. My feet hurt. And that's how I got introduced to like Dr. Souls. You get those thick insoles, so it's like gel. Like, remember, I'm coming from Jamaica. I don't know none of this.
Yeah.
Nothing. I didn't even know what credit was yet, bro. I didn't know what credit was. I know nothing about this thing called credit.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that I couldn't get nothing.
Yeah.
I just knew that every time I tried to apply for something, I just didn't get it because known credit is just as bad as bad credit.
Speak that.
There's no credibility there. So I decided to join the military. So I joined the military. And then after training, I moved back to New York. And mind you, even being in the military, basic training and all of that, I still didn't know what credit was. Yeah. Nobody spoke about credit. I knew nothing, right? So moved back to New York, got a gig now, they call it active reserve or state active duty, either one. And I'm making good money, I think I'm making good money. So now I decided to get a car, a 2007 Nissan Altima with 75,000 miles on it. Bro, when I tell you they did me so dirty because I didn't know, bro. So I couldn't even get approved for it. I had to get a cosigner. I didn't know what a cosigner was. And for everybody that's listening, do not co-sign for nobody. Even though I got helped, do not co-sign for nobody. You see, bro, I didn't comprehend the responsibility my friend was taking on when they decided to be a co-signer for me. I don't think he knew what he was doing either. He just like, yo, bro, you're my boy. I'm gonna just do it for you.
Yeah.
And we do that so many times, and we end up being hurt in the process. So my boy came, he became a co-signer. I'm always good to my word. So I paid my bills and everything on time. But bro, for a used Nissan Altima, right? With 75,000 miles on it, I was paying $585 a month.
Wow.
Mind you, I was under 25. So you know when you're under 25, that insurance is different.
And in New York.
Bruh. So my insurance now was another $300. Dude, I was paying close to $800 for a used 2007 Nissan Altima with 75,000 miles in insurance, bro. At 24 years old, bro.
That's
so
crazy.
Imagine trying to figure out this system and all of that going to that. I'm barely surviving now.
Yeah, definitely.
But, you know, I want to play the game. I want a car because I want to drive. Like, what's the point of walking every day and doing this and doing that, and I have nothing to show for it? That was the mindset back then. So as things got better, I started. So now I got my first credit card. Stuff is building. I got the car that's reporting. So I didn't know that I was adding trade lines to my consumer report.
Yeah.
So it's because it's building now.
Yeah.
Right. It's building. It's building. It's building. Payments are going in, more accounts. One credit card became 2, became 3. So now I sold that car, got a new car. Guess what? I didn't need a cosign at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, bro, you're leveling up. You're leveling up. And then
what kind of car was that one?
This one was a Chrysler 200S.
Okay.
I call her Beast. It was a black on black. So it was a sports type, and then I tinted it.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was like a black beast. Like, I love that car. So that was my first new car, right? The first new car. 0 miles. I was good. The other one was 75,000 miles.
Yeah.
So I felt good about that car. Payments were still high though. So, but not as high as the other one. So now I'm like, everywhere I'm going, this credit stuff keep coming up. What is this credit stuff? So I started looking into it. I never paid it much attention. Then I had to move. Guess what? Needed a cosigner again, bro. So everywhere I'm going, I am being stopped. One word keeps coming up: credit.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with me? We don't need credit in Jamaica. You're not in Jamaica.
This is the credit capital of the world right here.
So it's a mind shift, a paradigm shift had to happen. Bro, you're not in Jamaica anymore. This is how the system works. Is either you're going to work with the system or try to work against it. But we know what's going to happen if you try to work against it. You will live a life of scarcity, not getting anything.
Yeah.
So now I'm in the military. Fast forward a few years now. I got deployed and I had a 604 and I was just tired of being denied, bro. I had $10,000 in negative credit card debt. So that's me just buying liabilities. 10,000 that racked up a $10,000 credit card bill. Only could make minimum payments. And then I decided enough was enough, bro. Like, are you gonna just keep going this route? Because I'm seeing on social media, I'm seeing people living good. So then I started reading. Before I got to that, I lost my job, right? I was getting a job with the city, and then I resigned from the military, the active slot. And the city wrote me after I put in my letter to resign from the military that the space is no longer available. The job is no longer available. Mind you, last week I put in the letter. They hired someone to replace me already.
Wow.
Bro, if my world has ever shattered before, that was the first time.
Yeah.
I got a wife and a kid. So now I was making around $80,000 to zero.
Mm.
And I'm blaming the city. I'm just angry, blaming everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah. Like I did what I'm supposed to do. I did the checkups, I did the medical, I did the certs, everything. You told me to retire, to put in the letter from this job because we're going to start that job in 2 weeks. I did it. But now the position is gone. What do you mean the position is gone? We just hired someone for your position.
Wow.
I'm asked up, bro.
Yeah.
So I was so angry, bro. And then I went to the barbershop. And this is when I started learning about Uber. So I signed up for Uber and stuff like that. And let me tell you how God is good, bro. And no, I don't care what nobody says, bro. During that period, I was still getting paid. No one could stop my paycheck. None. No finance department, nobody. Every 2 weeks, I was still getting a check for 2 months, 2 or 3 months. Nobody could stop that paycheck, bro, until I got back on my feet. Bro, nobody could stop that paycheck. I don't think y'all are hearing me.
No, that's what, listen, that's what you mean you covered.
Bro, that's when I said, yo, there is something. People might say God, Allah, Buddha. I don't care what you want to call it. There's something out there, bro. And I'm telling you. So I went to the barbershop and I'm cutting my hair. And one of the barbers says, he just got his niece a book. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm like, what kind of damn book is that? It is like about this guy that has 2 dads. I'm like, he has 2 dads. That must be some dumb book. Ignorance. So ignorant. All right, whatever. Went in my car, found it on YouTube. Rich Dad Poor Dad audiobook. I was like, whoa. Bro, I listened to that audiobook 5 times. Then I bought the hard copy and read it front to back.
So what was your favorite part about that book?
Bro, the rich don't work for money.
Mm.
Stop prostituting your time.
Mm.
The rich don't work for money. They have money work for them.
That was an amazing book. As I grow, I started kind of challenging Robert Kiyosaki because, again, he's one of those famous people for doing what I talked about, because that book was great, but a lot of times in his, you see some of the YouTube clips and stuff like that, he give you just enough to entice you, and then he move on, because in that book, he worked. He worked a job for a long time. And so
Xerox, he speaks about it.
Exactly. And
military too, prior military.
Exactly. So, that's a check. Xerox is a check. And then hustling homes take time to develop, and so you have a lot of people that we're motivated when we read a book like that, and then we jump out the window. We leave our job, we do everything, we think we can fly. And so then all the time, it's not a situation where your check keep coming for 90 days. You really ass out because you read Rich Dad Poor Dad and you couldn't really understand, because you don't want to hear about the working portion. You want to hear about the other portion. What I got from it was that he did have 2 dads. So he got a chance to get the best of both worlds, as opposed to just saying, screw my poor dad, and I'm just going to do what my rich dad did. And so we have to learn from both sides of the spectrum of that book. Yes, you want to eventually be the rich dad, but it's something to that poor dad, as well, because all rich people are trying to do is get to a point where their money has created, the money is working for them, not to, like you said, not you working. So, but the money is still bringing you a check every 2 weeks or every week, just like you would go work for. But it might be way more money, but it's still bringing you that, because that's how life works. If you don't make money on a consistent basis, you're stuck. If you only going to get a check every 6 months, a lot of people can't live that way. But if you can find a way to get a check every 6 days without you working 80 hours, that's a rich dad. But it starts with you getting this system down, and then you create another system so your money can work for you. And if you don't have a job, if you don't have something happening, the worst thing to an investment is you not giving it enough time to mature. That's the worst thing you can do.
Premature death.
Yes,
that's what it is.
That's all it is. You put $10,000 up. If you don't give it 90 days, 60 days, whatever it takes to do what it needs to do, you right back to broke again. You gotta allow the money to do its job, and then let it come back. That's why I asked you that question about that book. I love the book. Got the book in my library. Read it a few times. First time I read it, my wife and I were driving to Miami, and we read it to each other driving to Miami. So
shout out to you. Shout out to the wife.
So yeah, that was definitely a dope situation. It was an amazing book, and I tell anybody to read it. I read differently, and I try to look for the full scenario, as opposed to the last book. I was reading the Rachel Rodgers book. I hated that book in the first 3 chapters, but again, because I read so avidly, I didn't get rid of it, and I ended up being an amazing book because it was greatly written. But I hated her bad talking men the first 3 chapters, but the last 9 chapters was amazing, and she brought it back home. But I'm glad I stuck into it so I could take that part and the rest of the parts as well, because sometimes people get what they want to get, or they don't get what they want to get immediately, and they cut the book off. Try to get all of the portions of it so you don't make no premature decisions or no premature moves.
So with Rich Dad Poor Dad, bro, it was an eye-opener. Yeah. And the mindset is don't be dependent on a job. So even though, Robert worked a job, he wasn't dependent on the job because his thought was, I'm going to use this job to fund the freedom for the rest of my life.
I love it. That's the story that I want people to get out of that book right there. Not quit your job.
Not quit your job and not knowing where nothing's coming from.
Exactly.
How can I use what I have now to set me up for the rest of my life?
Exactly. So yeah, and you read that book. You got the audio book. You got it in the library. You read it 5 times.
Then the next book was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's when my mind stretched, bro.
Yeah, that's the Bible. That's a business Bible.
And then now, the principles of success. I started diving deep now, not knowing that I was starting self-development.
Yes.
Didn't know it, but I started changing. The people that I was around, the people that I'm talking to, I'm going to meetups. Mind you, I have no clue what I'm doing. I just know I'm supposed to be going these places.
You're growing.
Right? So now, deployed the next year in Kuwait. Enough is enough, Daraine. You're reading all these books. You love real estate so much. Dude, I read 140 books on my deployment.
Wow.
I was averaging 5 to 6 books a month.
Man,
2 books a week.
That deserves one of these because they said if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book.
Put it in a book.
They're not hiding it from you. So
hell no.
And if you read 5 books a month, then you in the top 1% of readers in the world. Bro. And so that should be saluted for real. Salute to you for that.
I'm not saying anybody can go and read 140 books. It's time consuming. But when you want something bad enough, nothing stands in your way. Absolutely nothing. So that mind shift now happened. And then Daraine, you're reading books on real estate, credit. Dude, I was reading accounting books, CPA books, finance books. I was like, God damn. Like, what's going on here? So as I started stacking it, things started to click.
Yeah.
And then like I had a 604 going over there. And I'm like, enough is enough. So I met this one guy. He was a major from Vermont. And he saw me reading one of my books about credit. And he said, what are you reading, Daraine? I'm like, I'm reading a book on credit, sir. And I'm like, I said, sir, what's your credit score? And he looked at me. He said, I have an 820. It was the first person I ever met with an 800. I was like, wow. I'm like, you're like a unicorn. You don't see people with 800. Dude, so tell me what. I was like, I would love to have an 800. And this was pre-me, not knowing my full potential.
Yeah.
Underestimating myself. Dude, 1, 2, 3, 4 months later, 5 months later, bro, I hit an 805. I built my first 800 credit score from Kuwait. I was not in the country. I'm gonna say it again. I was not in the country when I built my first 800 credit score. Was not. And then I built it 2 times after that because I started leveraging my credit, getting higher limit credit cards, doing credit card sequencing and funding. So, you know, every time you leverage your credit, it's going to fall because when you add new credit, it changes the age, the mixture changes, a whole lot of things change and it drops and then it goes back up after a little bit of time.
We definitely gonna get into that because people need to know that. People need to know that. So hold up, you said you got 800 while you were in Kuwait. So what are some of the things you're doing? Because you're not, you were just pretty much online, you know,
online, reading, consuming, bro.
But what was some of the steps you took to raise it? You was 604 when you left, so going up 200 points. Was you just paying some bills off at that time, or was it were you just getting some things taken off, like some negative stuff taken off? What were you doing while you
all
were
the above?
Okay.
So I found out about the 5 factors that contributed to the credit score. See, your consumer report and your credit score are separate things. People think they're the same, but they're not. They're separate things. So the credit score, the FICO algorithm, gets fed off of 5 things: your payment history, your utilization, your length of credit, inquiries, and your mixture of credit. When I comprehend that pie chart, I now know that my utilization need to be below a certain level. So I was maxed out. Remember I told you I had $10,000 worth of negative credit card? So I paid those down. Utilization went from 100 to 5%. Big increase.
Yep.
I had late payments. I got the late payments deleted. Another big increase because your payment history and your utilization make up 65% of your credit score.
Yeah.
Not your consumer report, your credit score. So when I learned that, I got to those 2 first. Then now I used the snowball method to pay down my credit cards. So I started with the smallest one first, making the minimum payments on all the rest. So I now got the small one off. So the funds from the small one, all of it, the minimum payment, including the balance, I rolled that over into the next one. So I was still making the minimum payment on the others. And then what I was paying on the small one, I dumped it on the next one. When I paid that one off, I did it to the next one.
Yeah.
So each time I'm going over, still making the same payments, but I chopped it off in like 2 or 3 months, bro.
Wow.
And then it was like, whoop, credit score gone through the roof.
Yeah.
Right away. Just one thing, paying it down.
So what's one of the biggest misconceptions that you find when you go and start to talk to people about credit? What some of the things that they just don't know, or they just as myths, credit myths that people always bring to you?
Well, it's a lot of stuff, and not knowing that they can delete anything that's on the report. They think that the corporations that put stuff on their report, it can't come off, and they're allowed to put it on there. That's not true.
Yeah.
So that's when I'm going to get into more consumer law. So right now, this is basic credit. Yeah. This isn't consumer law yet. So I noticed I paid this down, and they talk about 30%. 30% is like doing a test and getting a C. If you want an A, you need to be between 1 and 8% for your utilization.
Yeah.
Remember now, that's a factor on your credit score, but on your consumer report, a late payment is illegal.
Hold on, a late payment is illegal?
Illegal, correct. It's
really?
Not supposed to be there. On your consumer report, yes.
Wow.
Write that down. I'm gonna prove it to you in a few.
Yeah, I got. And look, that's not going anywhere. I need to know how is the late payment illegal?
All right, we're gonna get there. So when I found all of this out, bro, everything started to change. So I started applying now for higher limit credit cards. I'm getting 10,000. Mind you, the highest credit card that I had at the time was like $2,000. And I think that was from like Cap One. Because I've had that one forever. You know, when they'll be one of the first person, when you have no credibility, they will be one of the first person to say, here, we're going to give you a credit card.
We're going to give you a start. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to give you a start. Like they're one of the first persons to say, yo, I'm going to give you a start. So now I comprehended the system. So what I started doing was I started maxing the cards out. So I'd maxed them out, but paid off.
Yeah.
So what that did was, though, I was able to request higher credit limits. See, there's ways to increase your limits without getting hard inquiries. When you max the card out and paid off, and you show that you can max it out and paid off, they'll see that the credit that they're extending to you is not enough.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, you'll get an automatic increase.
Yeah. Makes
You've
sense.
experienced those, right?
Yes,
They
definitely.
give you yeah.
Definitely.
So when they see that you can handle more, they'll give you more.
They did me that. They did that for me with I got a Sam's Club credit card, and I had got it was $1,000, and then they pushed it up to 3,000 because of I was using it. My wife stays in Sam's, so she's like her mom. But again, I was paying it off every month. Whatever she spent, I paid it off every month, and it just bumped it up to 3,000. I didn't ask them; they just did it. And then also Amazon did it because I'm with my business. I'm into the film and everything like that, and so got a little small card from them, like $750. They say you can use that. Next thing you know, I mean, I think end up after like 3 times is up to like over $6,000. So with Amazon, so yeah, it just kept doing it. The more I was using it and paying it, they started doing it. But again, I told you offline, I didn't know until 4 years ago that paying the stuff back was going just right back to my credit line, and I didn't realize that. And that's why I asked you about misconceptions, because it's so many people when it comes to credit, insurance, especially people of color, they don't know, like even salesmen. And I teach about sales. I was telling someone, I was like, well, when you're selling insurance to somebody, especially people of color, I said, what are some of the things that you think that because they said, well, black people don't want to buy insurance. I said, that's not the truth. I said, do you know their pain point? I said, the pain point with insurance is that black people are afraid to get denied because of health. I said, but nobody talks about health. You talk about death. They don't want to hear about death. They don't want to talk to you about them dying. And they afraid that because they got diabetes or something like that, they're going to say, no, you can't get insurance. So they say, I'm not going to worry about it. But if you can tell them that you're not going to get any, you're going to get, approved. You don't have to do no doctor's visits, things like that. I said, I bet you sell more. So the same with credit, small problems that people have, like, because somebody like you, like, really, you didn't know that? Because a lot of people don't know that you were sitting, this is my money. I got $1,000 limit. You think I'm going to give you $1,000? I can do something else with that money. But when in 2 days, or if you pay an extra $10, $15, it'll go on right now. You'll still have that same $1,000 in your credit card.
Exactly.
And you'll look good to the credit people, and they might give you more money. But I promise you, I done been around people who are rich, and they would not say that. They would tout that they got 800 credit scores, and they were talking to you about not having a good credit score, but they will not share that simple information with you so that you can go ahead and take it to another level.
Bro, if you're talking about that type of stuff, like I have friends, dude, we're buying houses off a credit card. We're liquidating credit cards. Like that's more advanced stuff.
Yes.
But when you get the basics, like credit is the best thing ever created. Where else can you use other people's money to get rich?
That's good conversation right there.
How long would it take for you right now to save up 50K?
It'll take
Not
a
your
long,
business, not your business funds, your personal funds.
Yeah, it takes time for any regular person. It takes a long time. A lot of people will never do it.
I can show you how to get 50K in 24 hours, bro.
See what I'm saying?
That's the power of credit. So what I figured out when I was deployed, bro, I don't need to save up an emergency fund. I just get a $25,000 credit card, label it emergency. I don't need to save that up.
Yeah.
So now when we're talking about you need to have savings, you need to have this, how about you fix your credit and have a card for each thing? This is my emergency hospital card. It has a $25,000 limit on there. If anything happens to anybody in the family, this is the card we're going to use for that. Right? This, if we're going to do renovations, we're going to get this card. So it goes on this, not, oh my God, I got to work doubles, I got to do this. But then the plan, like I've heard it all, bro. I got 3 jobs, bro.
Yeah.
I got 3 jobs. Dude, I remember when I had 2 jobs, bro. And I didn't even have a car yet. I was walking in 12 feet of snow, not 12 feet, like.
I'm from Newark, right across the bridge. So
yeah.
I know, I know exactly what I tell my kids that. I said, we walked uphill in the snow barefoot.
And you gotta go, like, there is no excuse. They say show up, you gotta show up. Nose running, fingers turning blue, like you gotta show up.
Yeah, definitely. No, but
I'm in the cold, in the rain, on the train, waiting on the train. There's a delay. I'm there for 35 minutes, bro, on the train track, waiting, cold, bro. I'm not used to this. I wasn't born in this type of weather.
Yeah. Well, you talk about 2 jobs. It's very seldom you're going to find somebody who have more than 1 job that's rich. A lot of times they can have 3 jobs and they're still not rich. They're still not moving the needle because they realize, I read in the book, actually, it was saying that the same thing that you get to make $100,000 is like, okay, you can work 18-hour days and you 7 days a week and you make your $100,000. Well, you only got 6 more hours in your day. You're not going to 10x your money by working the other 6. Something in your mindset is going to have to shift in order to 10x your money because you don't have no more hours. So either you can put 10 other people there to 10x it, to make your name, or you can make a plan, or you can put your money to work so it can 10x, but you are out of hours. And so it's the same thing. So you like, hey, I'm working 18 hours here, then I'm gonna go work this other job. And that's probably half of the amount of money you making on the other, job working 18 hours. So you're killing yourself instead of having this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that can get you somewhere. Like you said, you can get somebody $50,000 in 24 hours. A lot of people that look like us never even heard that. Or if they do hear it, they sound like you said, a unicorn, sound like a myth.
Right.
How do you dispel the myth?
You have to learn the truth. You have to unlearn and relearn.
Yeah,
that's important. You have to unlearn because a lot of people think, oh, I know about credit. I'm just supposed to buy gas and groceries and that's it. No, bro. We're buying houses off of credit cards.
You're absolutely right about that, man. And that's very, very sad. I know people that, judged us, my wife and I, years ago about credit. And then once I started getting myself in a certain space, I'm looking at them like, you had 800 credit for the whole time I've known you, and all you own is the house that you live in. That's it. You've never done, you never even drive the car that you wanted to drive. Not that cars mean anything, but getting some of the things that you want for busting your ass all your life means something to you. And if you spent your whole life and you've never just did what you wanted to do because it was always a concern, that's a waste. And you had 800 credit. These are people who have great credit, but all they think of is, like you said, is for gas. It's for a super emergency, not emergency like somebody about to die emergency, but like, oh, well, my car got broke down, so let me fix that, or let me fix an emergency in the house. Things that inevitable, not the ones you create, not the life that you create. So that's a real problem in our community.
The other big problem is we don't know that credit is a tool, and it's a tool for you to get in good debt. There's bad debt and there's good debt.
Love it.
Good debt pays you for having it. Bad debt takes away from what you got, like your liability spending. So like you right now, you got that fitted on. I see your mic, I see your headphones. You probably spend a good $10,000 or $15,000 putting your studio together. Our regular person is going to say, oh my God, why would you do that? But that's a business write-off.
Oh my God. Look, I told a friend, I said, man, we talking about the pandemic. I have a 3,000 square foot office space. And I said, do you realize the tax breaks I've gotten over the last 5 years of having this space? It's mind-boggling. I didn't know it. I just wanted more space. I went from a smaller space to this space, but oh my God, it has done me and my family justice, because as you're growing and you're making more money, you know, they're going to take more. And if you don't have these assets to get them to, help you on the tax side, it's tough, man. And I didn't know it, but it's been a blessing to me to make the investments, because all these investments pay off on the back end when it comes to the taxes, man.
All right, look at this now. So when I was working a security job, right? I know guys there. I call them, they live there. These guys live there. You can't tell me nothing. They live there. Every day of the week, they're on both shifts doing doubles.
Wow.
I don't know when they go home to sleep, but they live there. And dude, after 3 overtime, if you do a 4th one, the overtime made no sense. The amount you're paying in taxes. So doing overtime, we figured out that 3 overtime per week is when you see a difference in the paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
If you go 4, it's better off you go 6. Because the amount that came out for tax didn't make any sense. Dude, it's like your whole paycheck just split in half.
Yeah. Yep.
So you're working 2 jobs. One of those jobs, all of it just went to taxes. You're really working 1 job.
Yeah.
Because
wow, that's so mind-boggling, man. That's so mind-boggling. Wow.
You're really working 1, because the other one just goes straight to taxes.
Wow. That's mind-boggling. And I think that it's like a muscle memory where people just used to working and you think it's okay.
No. Yes, that part. We think it's okay because of the information that was fed to us.
Yeah, that's scary.
What if the narrative was different? And we're having credit conversation in the homes where we're learning about the 5 factors that contribute to your FICO score, your payment history, your utilization, your length of credit history, your credit mixture, and then new credit. And then you learn that, all right, when you pay this down, this is what happened. When you have certain amount, I can put you on as an authorized user. This is what's going to happen, right? When you're in high school, I can put you on at 16, at 15 years old, as an authorized user. I'm going to get you a secured credit card. I'm going to teach you how to use it. So when you pay, I'm not giving you allowances anymore. You're going to use that credit card, and you're only allowed to spend 30% off that. So if, let's say I got you $1,000 credit card, secured credit card, your max for the month is $300 because that's what your allowance is for the month. Anything over that, you're responsible for paying for it. And if you don't, it's coming out of your next month's allowance to pay for it. So you got to figure out how you're going to make this. Like, we start teaching them that way.
Yep.
So now they started using the credit card. Okay, we're going to the supermarket. All right, John, I don't feel like paying for the groceries this week. Pay for the groceries and I'll reimburse you on your allowance. So no, they're swiping. They're comprehending.
Yeah.
You know, I'm putting gas in the car. Go use your credit card. You see where I'm going with this?
Yes, definitely.
So when we start doing this now, and we're going to raise now a different generation of kids.
You definitely are.
It's not the generation where I'm going to put the light bill in your name. I'm going to put the cable in Susie's name. I'm going to do the heat in Derek's name.
Wow.
And then everybody comes out with messed up credit.
That was our generation.
Talk to me,
sure.
bro.
That's our generation for sure.
So we gotta change that.
Wow, that's our generation before, boy. Because I remember being in college and some of my friends sitting there, man, I'm trying to get this. Man, they talking I got this light bill. What?
It's real stuff.
Yes, that's a real conversation, because parents back in the day, and shout out to those parents, because a lot of them was doing whatever they needed to do to survive. Some of them was greasy, but some of them was really doing what they needed to do to survive. And hey, you had to take one for the team, even though you didn't know you was taking one for the team. But later on down the line, but it's our job to do better.
We have to.
It's our job to do better, man.
We cannot pass that misinformation on to the new generation. We cannot. It starts with us. And this is why now you don't even have to come to me to learn consumer laws, but get your credit right.
Yeah.
Get it right. But guess what? You see, people, they want quick fixes.
Yeah.
And they want to pay somebody to do it for them. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But where's the education? How are you going to teach your household now? What you're going to say? Oh, I paid somebody to fix the credit. But then what type of information are you passing on to the kids?
Yeah.
Remember, they don't know nothing about credit. High school's not going to teach them.
Yeah.
College is sure as hell not going to teach them.
You're right.
Dude, I have people right now with PhD in my mentorship. I only have a high school diploma, bro.
They don't know nothing about credit. I told a friend of mine that, love him to death, but me and him, we had a falling out. And I told him when I was, getting my stuff together, I said, man, you got your credit right years ago, like graduated college. He had something happen with his family and he stepped in to help out, with a house or something like that. And they was able to sell a house and he cashed out and he was smart. He paid off all his credit. So he like touted the 800 credit score for years. And I'm sitting there and I said to him, bro, we real tight. And I never learned about credit, but there's no way we can be that close and I don't learn from you. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm an entrepreneur. It's nobody that hang around me that don't know nothing about entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm around you, I should know something about credit. I shouldn't have to go outside to find it or be having these pitfalls, because you good. And you maintained it, you know what I mean? But we have to do a better job of passing that information around. And like you said, getting the knowledge, because somebody say, oh, well, give me $500, give me $1,000, give me however much money, and I'll fix it for you. But they're not giving you the information.
You're not getting the education.
Yeah. And if you in a bind, you might say here so that you can, because people usually get what they get credit right for, buy a house or get a car. But what you see is they get the credit right for the house, and then as soon as they buy the house, the credit go right back to crap.
Mm-hmm. They think they don't need it anymore.
Yeah,
they got the house.
You can't refinance your house and get the money out of it.
Then it becomes an issue again. Then it becomes an issue again. Let me find somebody to fix it again.
Exactly. And then look, you can get banged out with that because they'll come and tell you, the bank will say to you like, look, do you have the notice to say that you actually paid this off? No. Well, it might come back because they just did some scam thing, got it off. And if you can't say to the bank that you actually got it off, they might not give you the money.
So a lot of people, my brother, they don't invest in themselves.
Amen.
It's a big misconception in our industries. Let's say, for instance, what you do, and the people that will support you are strangers. Sad to say,
no,
your family will not support you, bro.
It's a fact.
Strangers will be your biggest fans, your biggest supporters, and you would think it's the people close to you. No,
not at all.
No, not at all. So when you're an average of the 5 to 10 people that you hang around. If you hang around losers, you're going to be the next one. Yep. You started hanging around millionaires. If you're not a millionaire already, guess who's going to be the next one?
Yeah.
You, because it's a different mindset. That mindset is not of a scarcity mentality, right? Yeah. It's not scarcity where, oh my God, because I tell you this now, you're going to know more than I do. And then you're going to reach this level and I'm not going to reach this level. And then you're like, bro, who got time for that, bro?
Yeah. If you live in your truth, you won't walk down someone else's path anyway.
You can't.
And that's the thing. The information that you get is only for your path. You know, so if I'm being who I am, I can't be you. I can't be Daraine. So like, it don't matter. We can have the same information. I'm not interested in credit as a business. I am interested in it as making sure my household is where it's supposed to be, and me personally, but it's going to help me. That information is going to help me kick ass in my business, but I'm not going to be in your business because that's not who I am. And it's going to show. If I don't have the passion behind it, I don't have the real skill set to know how, You know, you can have the information, but you know, everybody can cook chicken, but you can put 5 people in the room and somebody, the person who really love it, who really in it, that chicken gonna taste better than other people.
You're gonna know. You're gonna know.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, he was supposed to be doing that. You out here pretending, you playing. And so what I hate, what we do as a people though, we sully the market. That's why you say you got to get around the right people, because if you are doing it and you show 3 other people how to do it for themselves, and now they want to be you, and now they're charging $200 for something you charge $25,000 for, you know, and then they scamming people. Now it's they scamming people. Now everybody's scamming people in their mind. And it's like, no, you just went to the bad person because you wasn't trying to invest in yourself. You wasn't trying to do what needs to be done. You wanted a quick fix, and you got what you paid for.
You will always get what you paid for.
And that's the bar right there.
You will always get what you paid for. Always. You want premium service, you're gonna pay premium.
Yeah.
You will listen. If you're the best, you're not the cheapest. If you're the cheapest, you're not the best.
Yep. Absolutely right.
It's facts.
That's a fact.
The best cannot be the cheapest. And if the cheapest is the best, it's not the best.
Yeah. And that's with anything. That don't matter. That don't matter what genre, what you know, where you go, is food, you know, clothes, anything. If you are the cheapest, you're not the best.
You're not.
And you the best, you're definitely not going to be the cheapest. It costs to be the boss. It costs. You put time and energy. When they say hey, selling Louis Vuitton, you go and watch them. They're making every shoe, every bag. They're making it by hand. They have some of the best leather. They're paying for that. So if it's gonna cost me $500 just to get the bag, get the materials for the bag, I can't sell it to you for $500.
Nope. It's premium.
Yeah, where's my margins? I got to sell it for more.
But then people look at it like this, bro. Oh, I'm paying you $1,000 or $2,000. I'm making you rich, bro. If that's the mindset you're gonna have, you don't need my program. Because if you give me $1,000 and I give you $10,000 back, would you take that deal?
Of course.
If you give me $2,000 and I show you now how to not only fix your credit, I'm gonna show you how to structure it, how to leverage it, and I can show you how to get anywhere from $70,000 to $150,000 in funding. Would you take that?
Of course.
So people, a lot of people, not everybody. So, and this isn't to disrespect anybody, but broke people know the cost of everything and the value of nothing.
I love it. Say that again.
Like I said, this is not to disrespect anybody.
No, it's a fact.
But broke people know the cost of everything and the value of nothing. Rich and wealthy people know the value of things and they don't worry about the cost.
I want to use the first part of that 4-part bar of yours. So just know I'll give you shout out when I use it.
Yeah, I got it from Jay-Z, all right? I heard Jay-Z say it.
Hey, but broke people know the value, they know the cost of everything. I just want to use that part. Because it's a fact, though. It's so funny. But the brokest person could tell you how much everything costs. Ooh, that's so crazy. They know how much everything costs. They can tell you, oh, that's too expensive.
Am I lying? Think about it. Am I lying?
No, that hit me as soon as I say, yo, you are absolutely right. Everybody has had their broke moments. Everybody has had their broke moments.
Why am I going to pay you $1,000 to fix my credit? It's not my damn credit. It's your credit. And if you don't know the value of your credit, then $1,000 or $2,000 is going to be an issue for you. Because you don't know that when you fix that credit and it's positioned right, you can get funding in 24 hours of anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000. You don't know that you could run a credit card sequence now where instead of having 2 credit cards, you now have 10 credit cards, each having a $20,000 line or a $15,000 line on it. So where's my damn calculator? I'm no mathematician, but I work good with numbers. If you have 10 credit cards,
200,000
at $15,000 a limit, that's an easy 150 bands right there in plastic.
Yeah, and that's more than a lot of people have seen in their life.
Bruh.
A lot of people are gonna die without seeing 150,000.
And then now you learn now, okay, It's on credit. How can I liquidate this credit card? How can I turn credit to cash? Then you're going to hear about manufacturer spend it, right? And then you learn now that you're able to do certain things, like you can even do a balance transfer. You can get checks off your credit card.
Yep.
You can get money orders. You can get a gift card. You can run a play, liquidate this credit card, put the money in your account.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even know that. Boom, I have a friend. He bought it for a family. He built out his LLC, got business funding for about 150,000. Business credit don't report on your personal, right?
Yep.
He liquidated the business credit card. He had like 150 or $200,000 in a business credit, on a business credit card. He liquidated $40,000 off the credit card, bro. Put it in his banking account, and then closed on a property 6 months later for a family in New Jersey.
Yeah. And
nothing
that's
out of pocket. Now, guess what? He got that house for free. There's 3 tenants in there. He's in the basement, right? He's in the basement. The house pays for itself. The house pays back the card.
Yep.
He got a whole 4 family for free.
And then they get real sweet with it. I'm learning this and I'm working towards this right now. When you get that, and you probably talk more to this, is when you get to that point where you can actually, if you got a limit, you can actually pay a certain amount up front, and then you don't have to make no payments for a year. And so now you can play on it. I don't know what that's called, but they was talking about how you can pay up front. Let's say whatever they're going to make, they want $2,000, $3,000 up front. And then now you don't have no payment for a year. So if you go spend that 100 bands, you can go ahead and start making your plays. And once you get it back, you just got to pay that cash amount at the beginning of the year.
So there's different ways to go about that. So you can do like no interest, like 18 month no interest,
Yes,
right? That's one way.
That's
so
one.
It's not that you're not paying on it. You're paying, but there's no interest for a whole year.
Yeah.
So you pay, just the principal balance. But before the end of that 18 or 12 month period, you can do a balance transfer. You transfer it to another 0% interest card.
Wow.
So now you reset the balance on this one, transfer it to a whole new card that gives you another 12 to 18 months of 0% interest. Before you know it, now everything's paid off. You just got that whole funds, 0% interest.
See, and that's even extra on that play. And see, this is what people don't understand. And this is great. This is great conversation, because a lot of times, like we talk about like taxes, credit, all that stuff. Like with taxes, people would say stuff like, oh, well, you know, you got a tax break. Well, when you broke, and again, it's not about nobody else, but it's just a fact. Those are numbers. Numbers don't lie. When you're broke, if your tax break is going to be you saving $300, you're not whoop-de-doo about that. But when you're talking about having 100,000 and you say you're going to save 10%, that's $10,000 that you're going to save on a break. So the same thing where you're talking about interest. If they're going to give you interest-free $100,000 and you got a year and a half or a year to pay it off, if you can come up with a good play, like a house, like something like that, that you know that you can go ahead and get another $100,000 for, they change your life for free, and all you had to pay you didn't have to pay $10,000, or you would pay $10,000 later on, and that's where it is. But when you're talking minuscule amounts of money, I don't think people see it. They don't see the benefit. You know, when you talk about the rich people, Donald Trump and them try not to, pay taxes, because them paying 33% taxes or more than that, it's a lot of money.
On a billion, bro. That's 33% on a $1 billion.
So don't sit here and say Donald Trump is the devil because he's trying not to pay that. You paying your 33% on 50,000. He's not trying. That's a whole nother ball game. When
but not only that, bro. When you own businesses, the IRS rewards you for being a business owner.
Say that again.
When you're a business owner, you get rewarded by the IRS for being a business owner. The tax breaks, especially if you have real estate, depreciation. So when someone comes to me and they're like, it's hard for me to pay $2,000 to learn about credit. Dude, I haven't even gone into consumer law yet. This is basic credit we're in. I haven't gone into teaching you how to get paid for having bad credit. You can get paid for having bad credit. And I'm talking 6 figures or more.
Okay, we got to go to that one. We got
Right?
to get to that because most people got bad credit. So how do you make these bad credit people benefit and without making them feel like they're not going to get their credit right because you showed them how to make money for having bad credit?
So credibility. Your credit speaks about your character, your general reputation, your mode of living, the type of person that you are. So when you're not in the room and the underwriter takes your file, remember, they're seeing a story. What's your story telling the underwriter? On your report, what is that story that the underwriter is seeing?
Yeah.
There's a reason why. You see my shirt, right?
Charge off, late payments.
Late payments.
Mhm.
Late payments are illegal. A charge off is not even supposed to be on your credit. Bro, so when you learn this stuff and you learn how to leverage credit and you're worrying about $2,000, you're worrying about the wrong thing. You're not paying me $2,000. That $2,000 is an investment in your own education because now you're going to learn how to fix your credit. You're going to learn how to leverage your credit. You're going to learn the things. So back to your question about the bad credit. Violations. A lot of people have so many violations, especially collections, just sitting on their reports, and they don't even know that they can get a bag from just having certain things on their report. I'm gonna give you an example. Like right now, did you know, you're probably not gonna know, but I'm gonna ask you just to make a point. Did you know that the rules have changed for debt collection?
Nope.
So right now, if a collection account was supposed to pop up on your reports, it's a violation. Why? Because the new law says that was passed on November 30th that collectors and debt buyers cannot illegally park a debt on your consumer report without first making contact with the consumer to whom it relates. So they have to send you a letter or a phone call or some way of communicating with you, whether in person, but there needs to be some form of communication. And if there is no communication, they cannot put the debt on your consumer report. So if anyone on here listening right now in the S.T.A.R.V.E universe that has a collection that popped up after November 30th, and you didn't get a notice in the mail, a phone call, an email, or something stating that they're trying to get a hold of you regarding this alleged debt, and you should give them a call back or something like that, it's a violation of the law. That right there, you can get a minimum of $1,000 for that violation. It's minimum. You can get a lot more. How do you go about getting the money for it? This is where consumer law comes in, because now it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Yeah. So now everybody wants a quick fix. So they're gonna call and dispute. No. Send it via certified mail green return receipt. Send it to the post office. You're building your case now. So I'm gonna put them on notice. Hey, under 15 USC 1692 GB, validation of debt, I'm validating this debt under this specific law. That specific law tells you exactly what they need to give. When they don't give me that stuff, it's a violation. Now let's talk about the other violation. If the debt can't be proven or validated after 30 days, it has to get deleted. If they don't delete it, it then now becomes a violation. If there is errors in the reporting and they're furnishing incorrect, inaccurate information, it holds them now under 15 USC 1681 S2 under liability, where they are prohibited from reporting incorrect, inaccurate information. Now, if they still report it, it's a violation. So bad credit, there's two ways to look at it. The shit's bad. Yeah. But you can also learn to get paid from it. Yeah. Find the violations. Then what you can do, you can invoice them, right? Invoicing is one day. Are they going to pay you? No. It's all good. Guess what? You're going to find yourself now a consumer lawyer, and you're going to take the asses to court. Because now you are damaged as a result of their failure. Dude, I probably even shouldn't say it on this. There's some, bro.
This is exclusive. S.T.A.R.V.E. Talk exclusive right here.